Alright, this is my video. I'm going to give much props to the New York Giants with their win over the Green Bay Packers yesterday. And flat out, let's just put it right out there, people. The Giants deserve the credit because they played the better defense. Now, as we all know, defense wins championships, right? The Packers had the defense last year, and so on and so forth, going all the way back to the '85 Bears and everything before that. Anyway, what it's all about is defense. Packers had the last defense in the NFL, thus they lost the game. You figure it out. It's pretty easy. As far as the Aaron Rodgers MVP thing, yeah, I guess he could get the MVP award this year. He may even be able to share it with Drew Brees. I mean, as far as it goes, Drew Brees put forward better numbers, threw more touchdowns, and wasn't a bitch to sit out for the last couple games. I guess we could put it that way. Um, Other mitigating factors we want to look at, going back to the defensive end, the Packers were dead last in every single category, basically, as far as defense goes. I mean, the most important, yardage. I know they led the league in interceptions, but really, let's get real. In order to win the game yesterday, they actually had to play a perfect game. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily happen on an NFL field. The better team normally wins. The New York Giants have been injured most of the season, and they came in with a much more balanced running and passing attack. The defense that they saw was not the first defense that the Packers saw in their first meeting against the Giants. And let's get real here. Which team had the laxer schedule? All right, the Packers had to face the Bears. They had to face the Lions. They had to face the Vikings. Okay, that made up 8 games of their schedule. The Bears were good when Cutler really picked up his game. I mean, they were 7-3 once Cutler really picked it up, and then he was, of course, injured after that, and that pretty much annihilated their season. The Lions, kick-ass defense. They got a hell of a team coming up the pipe. They got Ndamukong Suh, who's going to be not only really an all-star, but probably a future Hall of Famer. I like the way he plays. I mean, he's gritty. He knows he's out there to play football, not to make friends. That's actually what people should follow. It is a game. It is football, so people should expect to get hurt. I don't like all this offensive bullshit where they're going to call something. Well, that's pass interference because you touched the guy when he was running, or, oh, you just minorly clicked the guy on the helmet. Okay, that's roughing the passer. No, that's not how football works. That's how football works nowadays. That's not how football was built. All right? Packers, if you want to talk about a great team that you had, you can go back to 1996 with Brett Favre, with Reggie White being the anchor on the defense. You can also go back to the Bart Starr days. That was a great all-around team. But as far as everything else goes, really, you could look at your team and say, hey, we really weren't that good to begin with. Look, you beat some good teams during the year. Okay, you beat the Giants without them being totally healthy. I mean, basically, you had an easy roll the whole time. And the only reason I'm knocking on Aaron Rodgers a little bit as MVP is because, well, the MVP makes his team better. Okay, he made his team better last season. He didn't necessarily do it this season. I mean, this season, guys were dropping balls. I mean, it's like saying, okay, well, Michael Jordan should be the MVP, but you know what? He's not because his teammates didn't make shots. No, that's not how it works. When Michael Jordan was playing for the Bulls, his teammates made shots, thus he wasn't the only superstar on the team. Scottie Pippen made shots, Bill Cartwright made shots, John Paxson made shots, blah, blah, blah. He just made his team better. Look at the Packers, all right? Nobody was necessarily any better. They were just trying to skate on what they had last year, which didn't work. I mean, you could even go as far as to call last year's Super Bowl a little bit lucky because they kind of slid in one way or another. They did win their games, but they did kind of slide into the playoffs. They backed into the playoffs. Nice and easy. I mean, the Bears would have done it this year too. If they had actually won a couple more games, they would have slid in over Atlanta, who wasn't really that great a team to begin with. I mean, and let's get real. The Giants' defense, when they're healthy, is the team to beat. That's pretty much all I have to say about the game for now. I'm replying to guys like Sergeant Johnny and stuff like that. I mean, the Packers might be good next year, but let's really, really take a look at things. Their window was very short, and you can't go on offense alone. I mean, that defense has to get a lot better for you to compete ever again. You might make it to the playoffs, but, if you come with the same defense, you're going to get knocked out in the first round again. or the second round, whatever the hell round you make it to. It really doesn't matter, but I'm just telling you right now, it's just what it's all about. It's about making the plays. It's about having the defense. It's about just being a solid football team all around. All right. New England may be the one exception because their team is just an offensive juggernaut. All right. Basically, there's nothing you could do against that team. They're solid. The Baltimore Ravens may actually have them figured out this weekend. I'm not going to make any bold predictions on it, but if I had to bet on it, I'd say the Ravens win in a close one because they're probably going to put some good clamps on Tom Brady. But if not, I'm looking forward to seeing a New York Giants and New England Patriots Super Bowl again because I thought that Super Bowl was probably the best one we've seen in a long time. If not, I'd love to see a defensive battle. San Francisco Giants, Baltimore Ravens, just bring it on. But football is and will forever always be about defense. No matter how the trends change, offense doesn't win you championships, defense does. That's all I have to say about that. All right, take care. Bye-bye.